Right, this is your chance to get involved in our free agent 11. Now, the transfer team will each pitch a player from a position who is available this summer for absolutely nothing. My job is then to choose which one gets in our team until we fill all the positions and get ourselves a full starting lineup. If you agree or disagree with my choice, then have your say. Use the hashtag #TransferTalk. These are the positions we've already filled. We've got a goalkeeper, we've got a back four, we've got a holding midfielder. We've also got two midfielders as well in Lewis Holtby and Bertolacci we picked last week as well. And today we are looking for a forward, predominantly playing from the right-hand side. So it could be a striker who you want to push out wide. I don't mind that at all. I'm up for tactical innovations, everybody. So here we go. Let me know who you're going to pick and I will choose the winner.
Yeah, now I've got to say, I haven't been here for the past couple of weeks, but this is part of the show that I've been very much looking forward to / slightly terrified about. But I'm excited to see who you're going to pitch. Anton, let's start with you.
All right, well, Dave, you mentioned tactical innovation. I'm not, doing anything particularly rogue, but I'm sticking a striker out wide, basically. That's about as creative as I get.
Good.
I'm giving you a player that's got more than 200 Premier League appearances, 42 Premier League goals, and the great thing is he scored 20 with his right foot, 10 with his left foot, 12 with his head. He's an all-rounder. It's Dani Welbeck. For me, he's not going to get in the team necessarily centre-forward because there's a lot of attacking options and frees out there. But for me, you've got to find a place for Dani Welbeck, and I like a player, right-footed player on the right, none of this cutting in malarkey. Get him on the right wing, Dave.
Nice.
JD, you thinking outside the box as well? Or?
I'm loosening up, Dave. I'm loosening up because I look at your team and you need an X factor. You need a special player. There's only a handful of special players in the world. And this player right here has played all around the world, has played in the Premier League, has also played for PSG, and has wowed fans throughout his whole career. I'm talking about the man full of creativity, none other. And it's a disgrace that he's actually a free agent, but Hatem Ben Arfa.
That is a great choice.
Thank you very much. Should we just
the bar.
close it now?
Throws it in now. Alice, should we close it, or have you got someone that can beat Ben Arfa?
Well, this player hasn't necessarily wowed fans to that level, but he can wow fans. He's got it in him. I'm going for Lazar Markovic. He spent the last season on loan at Fulham. Obviously, he didn't have a great season there. I get that, but who did have a great season at Fulham? He was... sorry, harsh, but there.
Higuain.
I am being ruthless today. But, yeah, he's still young, 25 years old. He was at Liverpool. It didn't go too well because he spent a few seasons out on loan, but he did the business at Benfica. So, yeah, he won the domestic treble with them there, very young as well. So I think that's what you need, Dave. I think you need him.
OK.
Michael, I recognise the expression on your face from a show a week or so ago. Who have you gone for?
No, it's 'cause if Anton's allowed, if the manager's let him well back in, Ben Arfa's a good choice. I don't agree with myself. Because I've said Markovic as well. But, if you're the manager, right? If you want...
the worst agent.
If you want Welbeck to drift in, agent, I've got the right back. Right. You decide.
Oh, so there we go, Dave.
Right, OK, well...
Three good options.
some good choices, some good options there. I'm not against at all playing a striker out wide in Anton's favour, but there was one man that stood out there, and it was JD's shout of Hatem Ben Arfa. Yeah. So Ben Arfa is going to go into my team.
Agent J's on work again.
And it's not only because Hatem Ben Arfa can bring that X factor. It's because he is going to be fantastic in the media as well. So he can take some of the pressure off me.
Can you imagine that changing him in pre-match?
He can take some of the pressure off
mature
me
now, he's ready.
in those post-match interviews. So there we go. Hatem Ben Arfa is in. And it doesn't matter if any of these players start to sign for clubs because we'll substitute them out and we'll bring someone else in. So, yeah, I mean, that team's looking great, I think. There's some real players in there, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. Ben Arfa, great addition. Well done, JD. Not that it's a competition. It's not a competition.
Just slightly competitive.
Right, it is less than a month until the start of the new Premier League season. Wolves, though, yet to sign a player. They're currently in China for the Asia Trophy, but Nuno Espirito Santo says he will be bringing in players this window.
In these moments we are working with 11 first-team players. So regarding the players that finished the season last season, we have Roman and Raul out. It's obvious that we have to bring, but like we spoke yesterday, there's a lot of things that we have to have in consideration. We only gonna bring players that can add quality to the squad that we have. That's why it requires time. Sometimes things are not possible, but I'm hopeful that we're going to bring players.
So Espirito Santo saying that they are going to make signings. I mean, what a season they had last time out. They kind of slowly went about their business, crept up. Anton, how do they go about building on the success of last season?
Speaking to people around the club, and it's more of the same. To be honest, what their key targets are 23 and under. That's what they want. They want to supplement the squad and improve the squad over a steady period. It doesn't necessarily have to go in and change things massively by upsetting people and bringing players in their late 20s, early 30s that, you know, they think can contribute now. It's a slower process. They really do believe in the process that's led by Nuno. Nuno's given them their transfer targets. And, you know, you just heard him there. He doesn't sound frustrated, doesn't sound angry. I think they expected potentially to get a bit of business done by now. I know they've been in for a couple of players and it hasn't quite worked out. They've decided to stay in Italy, for example. One player did. But, look, they are actively pursuing players, but expect them to be prospects, expect them to be prospects with international and top-flight experience, but not necessarily the kind of Moutinho's that we saw last season.
Yeah, and I mean, Nuno, you said how cool he was there, how he just kind of, the way he comes across is just fantastic, no panic at all. I mean, how key is he to the success, whether they bring in players or not?
He's a winner. He never looked last season as a newly promoted Wolves, mid-table. And what I liked about him as well, I don't get it with some clubs. They don't take the cup seriously when there's a real route there. They did take the cup seriously. They beat Liverpool and Manchester United, and they still went for Europe in the league. He just has that winning mentality. Those players are littered with European experience as well. And I think if they get through these Europa qualifiers, they're a club that will embrace it.
What I like about him as well, I had the pleasure of going to one of his press conferences. Man of very few words, very few words, but the respect that a lot of the players give to him, and you can feel from the coaching staff that they give to him, they really believe in the project. They really believe in his methodology and his philosophies as well. And when you have a man at the helm and you give him that respect, usually everybody falls straight into line. Whoever he brings in, we spoke about the lack of numbers that he used throughout the season, but when you continue that and have that continuity, it can only lead to good things.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the word respect there. Let's talk about a man who gets a lot of respect in the player Dani Alves. It's a name that's been kind of talked about already over the past couple of weeks. He didn't make it into Dave's free agent 11, but it does see, I know, absolutely. I wasn't here. I would have definitely have pitched him hard for that.
Could have been a right winger.
Maybe.
Well, despite that, though, there is plenty of interest in him coming to the Premier League. Where would he fit in, though, JD? Do you think he'd be a good signing for Arsenal?
He'd be a top signing for any team in the Premier League. Yep. I'm talking about one of the most decorated winners in football, but also has proven at the most recent tournament, the Copa America, he still has it. In this attacking brand of football, what is the modern fullback, Dani Alves, in my view, embodies it, but it's the example in which these fullbacks are followed behind. And the delivery, the acceleration, the anticipation that he has in that fullback position, but the experience that he gives. If Arsenal were lucky enough to sign him, it would be a huge help to someone like Hector Bellerin.
So we mentioned earlier, Kieran Trippier possibly going, Sergio Aurier possibly going. Go on, Maurizio. One season of Dani Alves.
Yeah, I mean, he is 36 years old. Alice, I'm reluctant to come to you, given what you said about Higuain being too old. But surely even you can see that Alves would fit in.
Absolutely, yeah. The experience is invaluable, isn't it? He would be a great asset to any Premier League team. I'm with you there, actually, JD. I'm with you with this one.
I see.
But yeah, I don't think. Yeah, how could you not try and go for him, especially as Michael says, if Tottenham are looking for that kind of player, then wow, that is a player that the fans would get very, very excited about. And at 36, he could still have another couple of years in him. You know,
I mean, I am just going to play devil's advocate a little bit because he is 36 years old. He has had such success. Do you think he would want to end his career in the Premier League, and would he have the impact, though? Or is it time just to go out on a high?
I think some managers are scared of characters as well, and Dani Alves certainly brings personality to your changing room. And I think some managers might go, oh, if I'm going to have this one season and he's going to be so senior and players going to look up to him. But I also think most managers are canny. They, probably think if I can get Dani Alves in my team, I'll take him. But I do think there's always that little caveat that I think will stop maybe one or two clubs going in.
Yeah, well, that is it for Good Morning Transfers this morning. Thank you to Anton, JD, Alice and Michael. Remember, we will be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. No transfer talk at midday. That is because we will bring you all the reaction from England's historic World Cup win. But plenty more debate and discussion later this evening. A full roundup of all the day's transfer stories with Darmish and Cavi in the transfer show at 7 o'clock tonight. But yes, up next, plenty more reaction. England are world champions.